On this episode of The Whiskey Tornado, we review Hard Truth Sweet Mash Rye. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance. It is a new year. Cheers to 2022. I'm excited for what we have planned for you guys on the channel. 2021 was an amazing year. We went from 234 subs to over 4,000, and now we're just flying towards 5,000. So before we even get started with today's review, I want to tell you all thank you so much for the support on the channel. For today's review, we are going to be talking about my surprise whiskey of 2021. This is a whiskey that would have been in my top 5 ryes of the year, but I hadn't tasted it until the very end of 2021, and it just blew me away. And that whiskey is Hard Truth Sweet Mash Rye. It is just fantastic, guys, and I'm so excited to review it for you guys. On January 20th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I have the master distiller Brian Smith coming on our channel for a live stream where we're going to be tasting it and talking about everything that Hard Truth is doing. So make sure you guys put that on your calendars. For those of you new to the Whiskey Tornado, let me quickly explain our scoring system. We have a 7-point scoring system. The first 2 categories are handicapped. Those categories are appearance and availability. Then we move on to the nose, palate, finish, body, and value. We rank each category 0 to 1, 0.5 being average. At the end, we add all those up. Any score of 3 or better is bar worthy. Any score of 4 or better is bunkersome, just in case the bourbon you love is no longer made. All right, with all that being said, let's get into the appearance of Hard Truth Sweet Mash Rye. All right, guys, so as you can see, the packaging, the presentation is just absolutely beautiful. I love it, down to the green label with the gold etching. The cork, they even put some detail into the cork. They make these one-of-a-kind corks, which are just beautiful. Down at the bottom, you can see it's got mash bill 1. This is the first mash bill. Up until now, Hard Truth has sourced a lot of their stuff. This is the first expression they've put out that's their own distillate, which is even more incredible that it's so good right from the start, being from a craft distillery. We'll get into all that. This particular batch is 115.2 proof. You will see on there it says mash bill 1. And it says mash bill 1 because I believe they have a total of 4 mash bills. This is just their first expression that they've released. Batch size 30 barrels, dumped on 10/14/21. I believe this is about a 3-year rye, which makes this expression even more amazing. On the back of the bottle, they have this etched into the glass, and it says distilled with the finest grains in water by Indiana's sweet mash pioneers. Now, sometimes I get flack for reviewing appearance, but I told you guys once, and this will never change on this channel, appearance is important. I was a marketing major, and when you have a distiller who's put so much of his heart and soul into their product, and it is the distillery's artwork in essence, you want to make sure the packaging represents that. So it is a handicapped category, but it's still very important. The packaging on this is beautiful, and it represents the art that's in the bottle. We're going to give the appearance a 0.8. All right, moving on to availability. This is a craft distillery with not a lot of distribution, so this is a category that's going to hurt this score a little bit, but again, that's why it is handicapped. The availability on this is a 0.3. All right, on to the good stuff, onto the nose, everybody. Oh, man, wait till you guys smell this. You guys know that I am not crazy about reviewing craft distillers because it takes a lot of time to get up to compete with the big boys. And I don't know how Hard Truth did this, but this absolutely competes with the big boys and blows a lot of them out of the water. For a 3-year rye, it's unbelievable. The nose is just, the first note I get is just this overwhelming, like hard candy butterscotch. It's the most butterscotch whiskey I've ever had. It's just amazing on the nose. Then almost goes into like a grapeseed oil. Yeah, definitely like grapeseed oil. Tons of vanilla. And then a little bit deeper into the glass, there's this gorgeous like barbecue note. Man, it is very complex, very beautiful. The sweetness is kind of what overwhelms the nose, that butterscotch sweetness, but you do get some of that grapeseed oil, some barbecue notes, maybe from the barrel char. Just really a gorgeous nose. One of my favorite noses ever, as a matter of fact, so I'm going to give this a 0.9. All right, moving on to the palate, guys. I'll show you the color here. It's not super dark, but we're talking about a 3-year rye. Let's go in for our first sip. So good. It's really amazing that this is Hard Truth's first expression. You know, normally when we talk about craft distilleries, they get that young whiskey out and you get the youthful notes. You pick up the grain, you pick up corn or sawdust or a lot of the wood. There is none of that here. You would never guess this was a craft distillery. The palate is extremely unique. First thing I got was just tons of sweet butterscotch like I got on the nose, just like those Werther's original candies. It's creamy just like that. It's really quite amazing. All right, going for the second sip. Yeah. Buttery butterscotch. Hard candies. And then over all of that is this like beautiful, delicate barbecue note. A little bit of that barrel char. It's not too much. I'm getting tons of rye spice, but again, it's not from the alcohol. This is 115 proof, but it actually drinks less than that. It's because it's so buttery, but you do get the rye spice. It's dancing all over my palate. Wow, it's just really amazing. Going in for the third sip here. Now that butterscotch kind of barbecue notes are turning into grape. And I was getting like grapeseed oil kind of on the nose. Now I'm getting grape on the palate. This is extremely complex. Man, it is, guys, I'm telling you, this was my surprise whiskey of 2021 for a reason. Number one, it came out of craft distillery. Number two, it's their first expression. And number three, it just blows most ryes out of the water. And then when you add the uniqueness on top of it, this is special. This is a special bottle. Man, so good. We're going to give the palate a 0.8. All right, moving on to the finish. It's just front of the palate is that super sweet butterscotch, which quickly transitions into rye spice. You have rye spice dancing all over, but in a really delicate, nice way. This isn't fighting me at all for 115 proof. And then it finishes with that barbecue. There's like barbecue sauce notes. It's so complex. The transitions are amazing. I'm in love with this stuff. It is really good. Nice finish. I just love it. We're going to give the finish a 0.8. All right, guys, moving on to the body. What can I say? It's buttery. It's creamy. It's just fantastic. Much better than average. We're going to give the body a 0.7. All right, moving on to our last category. We're talking about value. Now, I was able to taste this before I bought it. I actually tasted this at the Whiskey Fest in Chicago, where I was able to meet the head distiller, Brian Smith. Extremely nice guy. Again, he's coming on our live stream on January 20th. And when I walked up to his booth, I thought, I'm just going to be trying another craft distillery. This isn't going to wow me. I was kind of nervous to drink this in front of him, and because I always give my honest opinions. And me and the guys that were with me tasted this, and honestly, we were like, what the F? How is this stuff so good? It really took us back. We were blown away. We couldn't believe what we were tasting. Thought for sure, well, it must be sourced, and it wasn't sourced. This is their own distillate. Again, it's their first expression they're releasing. And, you know, at Whiskey Fest, where you've got, you know, Four Roses and Heaven Hill and all these other brands with super allocated bottles that you could drink, we stood at Hard Truth and drank this rye over most everything else there. That's how much I love it. It was a wonderful time, a wonderful memory. So not only does this bottle have great memories around it because the guys I was with at Whiskey Fest, but even on its own, it's amazing. So for $79 from a craft distillery, if I was just walking into a store and getting ready to buy this, I would think I was getting ready to be highly disappointed. But that's not true. I would pay double that for this. I would pay $150 for this rye. It's that good. It's better. It's probably one of my favorite ryes on my shelf. You know, people are chasing Michter's 10 all day long. This beats it. It is so fantastic. If you are a butterscotch fan and like those barbecue charred notes, and grape, you are going to absolutely love this rye. It's unique. It's like nothing you've ever had. The value, I'm going to give a 0.8 just because I would pay way more, which shocks me because I was sure that I was not going to like this, and I'm absolutely in love with it. Again, it's my surprise whiskey of 2021. Hard Truth just killed it with this sweet mash rye, and I cannot wait to talk to Brian Smith about it a little bit more on our live stream. But that brings the overall score for Hard Truth Sweet Mash Rye to a 4.55, making it bunker worthy. If you guys see this, you've got to run out and get some. It's fantastic. I'm absolutely in love with it. One thing I love about doing these reviews, guys, is reviews like this where I stumble across a bourbon or a rye you may not have heard of that you should be able to get. That's fantastic. And this is that. It is a bunker-worthy rye that a lot of people don't know about, so put it on your radar. Distribution, I think, is really small right now. They may do Illinois, Indiana, maybe Ohio, and Florida. So just a few states, but if you're in those states, look for this. If you see Hard Truth Rye, grab it. If you're in Indiana, definitely visit Nashville, Indiana, visit Hard Truth, and pick up some of this. I'm so excited to see what they do. Indiana doing amazing things when you talk about MGP, Hard Truth, and Starlight. Just awesome, awesome stuff. All right, guys, hope this helps you decide what to buy and what to leave on the shelves. Until our next review, cheers, everybody.